Hi, welcome along to All Guns Blazing. The man's back here with myself, Mr. DT. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm
Long
good.
time, man.
Yeah,
we ain't done this for a while.
It's been a while.
We've been busy though.
Yeah.
Been busy. That whole Gary Neville thing. I mean,
Pretty mad, isn't it?
that was mad. The way that blew up, you know, and the fact that, you know what, give credit to him. The fact that he actually hosted us on the day.
Yep.
Sky told us to come down, do it there. And I thought he was pretty good. He swerved a lot of things. I thought he was pretty skillful. But what did you make of it?
It was good. It was nice to speak to someone on that level. You know, I hate Gary Neville as a player. I don't think there's an Arsenal fan that does like him, but you've got to respect what he has achieved as a player. So yeah, to get in there and kind of have that one-on-one situation with him was quite unique. Because you know, it's.
I was looking at the comments in the video, and a lot of people were like, with you in particular, like when you spoke,
Bit shocked.
There was like, wow, it's like pretty heartfelt. You like really came from the heart. Some of the things you were saying, the reasons why you've become frustrated, they were like, wow, DT was really speaking from the heart there. Yeah,
it was. You know what? You kind of. Before we went in, we had the idea of what questions we were going to ask, and then it kind of just goes a different way. You know, I don't think that you had it scripted in the sense of who was going to go first, who's second, who's third, who's fourth, and I think it was just so off the cuff in the sense that, you know, Gary started talking about banners and why has no one, in terms of the fan base, protested against Kroenke, etc. And that kind of naturally led you into go, first up, I'm going to put DT in. And then I kind of said what point I wanted to get across, which was in my mind. And then the rest just come out. You know, it all just, all the frustration and all the anger and the problems that I've seen and had, and it just come out.
I loved how you spoke in that thing, because do you know what, right? A lot of people will criticise you and say that they don't agree with your point of view. I don't always agree with a lot of the, most of the times. I agree with a lot of the things you say. But the one thing, when I was watching it, I was like, you know what? No matter what I think of DT, that guy's a proper fan. You know what I mean? Who goes to games, who loves Arsenal so much, he just wants to see them succeed. That's what came across.
Yeah, and that's all it is at the end. People get blinded by rants and stuff like that, and you know, and it's, if you've watched any of these podcasts before, you know that I can talk in a very calm and simple and, you know, way, and people go, why can't you do that straight after a game? And it's like, listen, after just watching us get battered, for instance, 5-1 in Munich, and I've got a microphone shoved in my face, and it's just kind of like, you're not going to get a calm me. You're not going to get me sitting there going, well, you know, it's all right, we scored an away goal, yay! You know, you're going to get the frustrated, angry side of me. And it's kind of, if, for instance, we were, you know, let's say for argument's sake, the result against Bayern Munich or something was around the time of the Invincibles, you kind of look at that and go, that was a one-off. And yes, you could be angry, yes, you could be frustrated, but you probably wouldn't be as angry as what we are in the videos at the moment, because you can kind of genuinely go, it's a one-off. I remember the year was it the Invincible season? We lost 3-0 at home to Inter Milan in the Champions League. And I remember being angry and thinking, what the hell happened there? But I was like, it's a blip, it's a one-off, we'll bounce back from that. And we end up going to the San Siro and winning 5-1. You know, the difference between then and now is it isn't a once. It's not a one-off.
That Bayern Munich game, I mean, that was horrible. We went over on the plane together.
Yeah.
When we was flying over, I don't think nobody on that flight was optimistic that we could win. But most people were optimistic that, you know what, it's going to be a bit different this time.
Yeah.
You know, we've got better players than we've had when we've gone there previously. You know, we can not necessarily win, but maybe we could nick a draw, taken back to our place 2-1.
Yeah.
And at half time, 1-1, even though we rode our luck a lot, really. But 1-1, we were thinking, you know what? We had a couple of chances where we could even have gone into the lead.
Yeah.
But the second half, capitulation again, another 5-1 humiliation. I mean, it was just terrible.
Tie's over. Tie's over. Let's not beat around the bush. You can be the most positive person on the planet, Ty. I'm sorry, you are not beating Bayern Munich 4-0. I know that we're in a similar kind of situation.
Game starts off, quick 2 goals.
Don't even start that. Listen, I know we were in a similar...
After 15 minutes, 2-0, Arsenal 2-0 up.
You know what I mean? Then you're going to come this video come back and haunt me, wouldn't it? But no,
we lose about 5-2.
You look at it would be very Arsenal-like to win 3-0.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone goes, "Oh, so close! What a valiant effort!" Yeah. You remember AC Milan? We were 4-0 down after the first leg, and we were 3-0 up at half time. Now Milan had a good side, but not as good as Bayern Munich's. They don't concede a lot of goals, and this Bayern Munich is weaker than ones we've played in the past. And like you said, Granit Xhaka, that chance. Couldn't have asked for a better chance. Mesut Ozil just for half time. And at sitting there at half time, I was doing part of my vlog and I was talking about what I felt so far. And I was like, I genuinely think we can go on and get something out of this. I think we can get more goals. We're a real threat. Now we've got our foot through the door. We've weathered that early 20, 30-minute storm. The momentum's with us. If anything, we didn't want the half-time whistle. That was the worst time. I think if we'd have scored, it would have been a completely different outcome because that would have flattened Bayern Munich. But they kind of went in and regrouped at halftime and said, right, we need to go back to basics and do what we was doing in the first 25, 30 minutes, and then we'll do what we have to do. And then the second goal went in, and the third goal went in. And I remember... As soon as
Koscielny went off.
Yeah, but you
why can't
use
we defend?
that.
What's the matter with us? That we never ever seem to be able to defend. I look at Arsenal sometimes and I say, you know what, if we could defend, we probably won the title.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
We just don't. There just seems to be no sort of defensive, I don't know, organisation in our team.
There just doesn't seem to be anything in, like you said, no organisation. There's no leader. That's the key. Roy Keane said it, that you're at Bayern Munich, you're in the trenches now. You know, Koscielny's gone off. You've just conceded a goal. You need to really start shutting up shop and you need to man up, basically. And you're looking over and you've got Kieran Gibbs as your captain. Sorry. It just doesn't. And then you go to the Sutton United game. The captain's armband's been given to Theo Walcott. That captain armband has not been given to Theo Walcott because he's the most vocal and the most, the biggest leader in the team. It's been given to him because he's played the most games. That is that.
The most senior player, they just give
exactly.
It to
You're the senior player, take the captain's armband. The captain's armband at Arsenal means nothing anymore. And when you look at some of our captains, right back to Frank McClintock, to Tony Adams, to Patrick Vieira, even Thierry Henry, you look at those captains and then you look at now, and it's just being passed around like sweets. It's like, yeah, you have it. Koscielny for me is not a captain. Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. You know, and that's what it is like. It's
I didn't have the armband. It's my turn. Arsen.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know what it's like. You've got a younger boy that plays football and everything. And I remember when my younger boy was playing under 7s, under 8s, under 9s and stuff, and the manager would swap captains every week.
You know what? That's actually what happens in my son's team.
Because that's what they do.
When you now describe it as that, it really does make a mockery, because it is a mockery. What they do in kids' football. They like, you be the captain this week.
Yeah, and terrible. That's what it is. It is just a mockery. The captain's armband means nothing to an Arsenal player anymore. We do not have any real leader in that team.
Granit Xhaka was supposed to be a guy that was going to come in and be like a leader as well. Yeah. He's captain sometimes the Switzerland team. You know, we thought he had a lead, but he's a guy as well that's been letting the team down a lot massively. with his tackling or non-tackling, should I say.
Yeah.
What have you made of him so far? Has he been a good signing?
Do you know what? He made a really good start in the appearances when he were coming on, and there was a lot of us that were saying he needs to be starting games, and then he started games, and then he started just playing really badly. If he was English, he would get away with the tackles that he's done. It's as simple as that. You only have to look at the tackle that the Sutton United player done on Iwobi. And everyone in the BBC studios are sitting there talking about how, well, you know, it's like... Listen, if that was Granit Xhaka, you'd have him deported back to Albania. Do you know what I mean?
But he does put in... But
and he
having
does.
said that, he puts in... I mean, I remember that game earlier in the season when he got sent off. I thought that was ridiculous. When the foul that he took for the team, which I had no problem with that. The sending off, I think, was ridiculous that time. But some of the other rash stuff that he's done, he's really got to rein it in, hasn't he? I mean,
he does. He does. You know, Vieira was reckless when he first come. And you had to rein him in eventually.
That's true. It is his first season, I suppose.
It is his first season. He is getting used to a different style of football.
But he did it last year in Germany as well.
I know, but and it's just kind of... I can see he's definitely got something about him in terms of the way he plays, because when he is finding his range and he is springing them passes around, it's something different to what we've got. I just feel that right now, our biggest problem is that we've not had a settled centre midfield pairing for most of the season. I think it's chopping and changing so much. Start of the season, you write off Liverpool at the start of the season. We were missing so many players. It was just, we hadn't signed players. It was whatever it was. But you go after the Liverpool game, and we sat with Coquelin and Cazorla. That was our pairing. And we had no problems. We were unbeaten in how many games? And even though we wasn't playing great football and we were scraping through some, we were doing what was needed. And I was saying, is this a new Arsenal? Is this an Arsenal that's doing enough to get over the line, snatching draws when we should lose, snatching wins when we should be drawing, doing what championship teams do? And then we lose Cazorla again. And then one player, literally one player, our whole game plan changes. We've got no creativity. We've got nothing in the middle no more. And
he's now, as we've learned,
out for the season.
He's out for the whole season. And now is this now another mistake? I highlighted it in a video the other day where I was saying that two mistakes we've made. First of all, we've got a guy that could play there who is creative, who's playing at Bournemouth. That we sent out on a season-long loan.
Who allowed that to be a season-long loan?
Now, the season-long loan, was what I understand about it from a very, very good source, is that the reason why it was a season-long loan is that Arsenal were charging so much money for that loan move that Bournemouth said, well, we'll only pay that if we've got him for the full season. Hence why we couldn't recall him. Hence why Chelsea were able to recall Nathan Ake, who was having a brilliant season also at Bournemouth. They were able to recall him back to Chelsea, but we couldn't call him. And then also, they must have knew that Santi had problems and it was going to be very difficult for him to get back, in time for for this season. And we didn't buy anybody in that position in January. And now we're stuck.
You kind of summed it up there, didn't you? It's about money. It's about money. It's about greed. I don't understand who gave the authorization. I don't know who gives that final say-so on it being a season. Is it Arsene that gives the final say? Is it Ivan? Is it Kroenke himself? Who actually signs that off to say, yeah, that's it? I personally think that the person you have to ask is Arsene. Because obviously, being the manager, the club's going to say, right, such and such want him on loan. Are you willing to let him go? That's the first part. And Arsene says, yeah, first team football will be good. He's not part of my immediate plans. Let's get him out there and playing. And then they will obviously go to Arsene and say, 6 months or a year. And
it's a big.
And that's the thing. And it's
who plays there now? Who's going to be that creative player? Because there's a couple of candidates. There's Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's gone in there. There's Granit Xhaka, who's gone in there. There's Aaron Ramsey, who should be back soon, who can go in there, right? Almighty. Who of those three do you think should play that role as the creative player
right now
in midfield?
Right now, Oxlade-Chamberlain. And I never, ever, ever thought I would be sitting here saying that. That guy's gone up in my estimations massively, and it's not just because he's a Wenger out now. Keep liking them tweets, Alex.
That was he liked that by error.
No, he had to say it. He had to say it because you knew he'd be in the under 23 squad. He had to. It was so obvious. Oh, it was listen, we know that you were sitting on the coach, flicking through ArsenalFanTV with the rest of the boys, going, "What's DT and Troop said this week? Let's have a look." Arsenal's come back on the coach, and you're like, "Oh shit!" Quickly trying to shut the app down. You click like by accident, and you've realised. We know, Alex. It's all right. We're here for you.
Come on,
we are here for you. You know, I'm going to make him an honorary member of the WOB crew. He is one of us. You know what I mean? But no, all seriousness, the guy has performed. He's performed. Big time he's performed, and he's stepped up. And it shows how well he done in the 3-4 games in that position, that against Bayern Munich, when he was taken out of it and put on the right, fans were moaning. I said to you, talk about the flight and everything else, and I was saying, the one thing I do not want Arsene to do is take Oxlade-Chamberlain out of that middle. I said, take Coquelin out of there and put Xhaka in there, but do not remove Oxlade-Chamberlain. Because one of Oxlade's best games was against Bayern Munich when we won 2-0 out there. And he was bursting through the middle of them. Let him carry on his run. Because it's kind of like, you're kind of sending a message to him as well, which is, you know what, while we haven't got any players, we're going to stick you in your favourite position. But then as soon as someone comes back, we're going to shift you out on the right. And it's no coincidence that he had his most ineffective game against Bayern Munich when he was out on the right.
And then there's two other players that I just can't get my head around, these two, why they're not playing. The first one's Welbeck. Now, he went over to Munich. He didn't even play. For me and you, we spoke about it on the plane. He should have started the game. That pace he's got in behind, a guy that works up and down. Why? What, we saving him for Sutton? Then it turns out that he's not even going to play against Sutton because of the pitch.
Exactly, so they would have known about that.
So we're saving him for the under-23s. I just don't understand.
I don't get it.
Is he fit? Is he not fit? That I don't understand.
Yeah.
And the other one's Lucas Perez.
Yeah, massively.
Who, you know, there were rumours coming out that he said he wants to leave.
Yeah.
His agent has come back and said he didn't actually say that. But he must be unhappy. I mean, the guy can't get a game.
Of course he is. You go to the Welbeck situation. Arsenal would have known by the Bayern Munich game that Welbeck was not playing against Sutton United. They would have known that. Yeah. We all knew they had a plastic pitch before we even got drawn against them. We all watched the game against Leeds United and knew they had a plastic pitch. So what were they saving him for?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Were they saving him for the under-23 match against Leicester? No, it beggars belief. It's just, you watched him against Southampton. What did he play? 70 minutes, 65, 70 minutes against them? Unbelievable. You're telling me he couldn't have got 65, 70 minutes against Bayern Munich? If he can't, why is he there? And if he is only fit enough for some 20-minute sub-appearances, why are you then not using him? You only have to go to the league game before Bayern Munich, and he got about the last 5 minutes. And we were going, all right, well, maybe, yeah, he's saving him for Munich. Okay, yeah. Then you get to Munich and you're like, what's he doing? All right, he's saving him for Sutton. And then you see that he's not playing at Sutton and you're going, what the hell is going on?
And then Lucas Perez, the other
Listen, I spoke about it after Sutton, didn't I? And I said, what does this guy need to do? For as well as Iwobi's come into the team when he come in last season and he's done bits and pieces, should he be ahead of Lucas Perez? No. Not hoping else chance.
Perez is a goal scorer.
Exactly. And he's a creator.
And the more goal scorers you have on the pitch, the more likely you are to score goals, the more likely you are to win games.
He's a creator as well. I always see this guy doing something.
And he works hard as well.
Really hard worker. Being so close to the pitch against Sutton, I realised how fast he actually is.
Very quick, yeah.
He's really deceptively quick. And, you know, his link-up play, the way he is, and I can't remember what his stats and goals are over the last 10 games. I think
he scored 7 goals this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, and that's been
in
over
18 appearances. And those appearances, he hasn't started in every game. He started less than half.
He's lucky to get 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I said it to you. I said, do I believe...
Hat-trick in the Champions League.
And then drop the next game. Just like Theo Walcott. Hat-trick in the Champions League, drop the next game. You wonder why we question Arsene. because I don't understand any method to his madness anymore. It's like he deliberately is going, you know what? Fuck you lot, I'm doing what I want, and I'm going to do the opposite to what you... Yeah, I watch ArsenalFanTV. Yeah, you want that team? Nah, I'm giving something different. I just don't get the man. But Lucas Perez, I said to you, do I think that he will start the game against Liverpool? No, I don't. If he does, I'll be majorly surprised. I'll be buzzing if he starts, because it's a good opportunity for him.
Welbeck's got to start that, surely.
Surely, man.
But maybe saving him for the under-23s.
But, I just got a feeling that he's going to go and revert to type, which is Iwobi. He will probably more than likely go with Xhaka and Coquelin in the middle and take Chamberlain out. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't think there's any... We just don't know what we're going to go into a game with anymore. There's so much and in one sense you can go, well, you know what, it's good to have a variety of players, but it's also good to have a bit of consistency and a bit of stability within the team. And if you find the right formula and the right, then you stick with that. But right now, I honestly don't think Arsenal knows his best team.
On Arsenal, right, and on the old Arsenal thing, and things have kind of simmered down a bit because it's been a couple of weeks since we've had a game, since the Sutton. But, I'm sure you know about it. I'm sure you know about it. But there is a protest organised ahead of the Bayern Munich game where fans are going to, or fans are invited to, if they want to march from the marble halls of Highbury to the Emirates Stadium to protest.
To the Armoury.
To the Armoury to protest. And the significance of it is that we're playing Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
We moved into the new stadium from Highbury, and when we moved in, we were told it was to compete with Bayern Munich, who, of course, are leading us 5-1 in this tie. So it shows that we're obviously not competing with, and that's the whole significance of having the march then. Where do you stand on it? Do you agree? Because I've spoken to some people, quite a few people regarding it. Some people have said to me they agree. It's the only way we're going to be able to, get a message across is by, having this march. There's other people who are like, listen, we're 5-1 down to Bayern Munich, right? All right. Everybody would say we've got no chance, but don't we give ourselves even less of a chance when we're having a march like this before a game like this?
I agree with it.
I thought you might say that.
I'm nothing to do with it. If it goes wrong, I know I'm going to be the one that gets the blame for it. Even though I've distanced myself from it in that respect, I said that, look, I agree with the march because I agree with what's behind it. But, I'm not getting myself involved in that because of the whole...
Why don't you get yourself involved in it if you agree?
Because you know what, Robbie, last year when I was pulling out banners and stuff and things went on top, didn't see none of these men helping me. None of them. Left me hung out to dry. Just go and do your thing. And it's what, Yeah, but if you're going to have a movement, you got to be, first of all, that's straight away why these things will never work then, isn't it? Because there's no unity on it. No,
it's never going to work,
listen, I've got my own movement.
You've got your own movement?
I've got my own movement.
Yeah, how many people in that movement?
Don't worry about that. It's a closed group.
So listen.
No, listen.
This is exactly why
everyone has an idea of how they want to have their voices heard.
Right.
Right. My voice, how I want my voice heard, is by banners.
Right.
And by my own channel and ArsenalFanTV and stuff like that. That's my voice. That's how I get my message across. Like I said, I've got no problem whatsoever with the march. And yes, I will be there in the sense that I'm going to be around it. I'm going to see what's going on and everything else. But at the same time, I'm taking my children that night. Right? And I know...
What, you're getting him in the march as well?
Yeah, Bruv, listen, you see my 6-year-old, man. I don't know.
Like father, like son.
Listen, he's already sitting there saying, Dad, I've had enough. I want Wenger out. I'm like, you're 6. You're 6. Where are you getting that from? And he's like, I hear you say it all the time. Then go out. And I'm like, no.
You see how he's bringing up his kids?
Do you know what I mean? Not yet. Do you know what I mean? But no, in all seriousness, it's like, because on a serious level now, right, we all know that there's a huge divide between Wenger in and Wenger out. He's got staunch supporters on his side that defend him religiously, and they will defend him with violence. Okay? And then you've got our side, should we say, the Wenger out, right? And if you're started on, you retaliate. Now, how many times last season did people try and assault me because of banners? We've had interviews over it and stuff. All right? I'm just not going to put my children in that situation.
Okay.
So that's the.
But you agree with
it? Fully, I agree with it. And
will anything? You know what? Will anything happen?
Who knows?
Right, the thing is, right?
Who knows?
All these marches. You guys have been doing banners for years. Makes no difference, does it?
I don't care.
Let's be honest.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to still keep my voice going, because
does it make any difference? Does it get anything done?
Who knows?
Do the board people listen to you? Do you think that they maybe call you in, like what you were saying on the Gary Neville thing, where when was it Terry Neal was sacked, right? And they asked to speak to a delegation of fans. Is there any point to all this?
Yeah, there is a point, because if you just carry on and sit there and allow it, then they're just going to keep on doing it. You've got to keep applying pressure, and eventually that pressure will tell. It's hard. It's not easy, because you're trying to put pressure on a man that's been there 20 years. And like I said, he's got his own fan base, for want of word. And it's like, it is like trying to get the South Korean man out. And it is like being North Korea. And that's what it's like.
That's a bit over the top.
Because that's what it's a dictatorship, Robbie. You're trying to
not exactly Kim Jong-un or
I couldn't even pronounce his name. That's why I just said the North Korean guy. But it was just, but that's what it feels like. It's a dictatorship. And
don't get any ideas of sneaking up behind Arsenal with any
listen.
Yeah, right. Just get that.
I'm
only joking.
Listen. I don't want him out that much. You know what I mean? Let's get that right.
Listen, Leo, I wanted to ask you, right? And this is we was at this AFTV meeting the other day, right? And this guy said this. Now, and I'm going to ask you before I give you the answer that he gave. Do you think if Arsene Wenger left, if he said that I'm leaving, and at the end of the season he left, right? Do you think that will unify the Arsenal fan base? Because as you said, there's a split at the moment. I even get stick sometimes off a fan saying, why are we having people like you on? Then I'll get stick from other fans saying, why did you have someone like Chris on? So there's obviously a divide. So if Arsene Wenger leaves, does everybody then become unified again?
No.
Why would you say that?
Simple reason being, it'll kind of role reverse. The Wenger out brigade will then become the new manager in brigade. Like if Allegri comes in, we'll be the AKBs. Allegri knows best. So I'll go from the Wenger out brigade to an AKB. Do you know what I mean? But it's like,
that'd be good. I'd love to see that.
It's like, wow. But and then you gotta laugh, haven't you? But the problem we would have, right, is that I can picture it now. A new manager comes in, we lose one game. CDT, it's all your fault. Bring back Wenger. It will roll reverse.
So what you just said there is exactly what the guy said to me.
It will flip.
Right? And he's probably even worse Wenger out than you. But he said to me, he goes, Robbie, if a new manager comes in, every time that new manager loses a game, that side will be blaming the other side and saying, look, see, that's why we should have kept Arsenal, or if we didn't get into the top 4 or whatever. So,
yeah.
I just want to see. I'd love to see our fans just unified.
There's only one way that
the manager.
The only one way that they're going to unify, is if we change the manager, and he comes in and he does like what Conte's doing right now at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he goes on to win the league.
So it's got
and that's the thing.
It's going to be such a hard act to follow. Then.
Do you know what it is?
Because
Robbie?
if you think about that, right, break it down, right. not only is he going to have to come in and win games to win over a massive section of the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be under immense pressure. Immense pressure, whoever that is.
That's why it needs to be a big man.
That appointment's got to be so...
That's why it can't be an Eddie Howe or someone like that. He's under immense pressure at Bournemouth right now, and look at how badly they're playing. I know it's Bournemouth, and I know they haven't got the calibre of players that we've got, but it's showing. He's under a bit of pressure, and he's really struggling right at the moment since the turn of the year. Too big a job for Eddie Howe.
Talking about people leaving, Andres Jonker, who's with the youth team, he's leaving to take over at Wolfsburg. Freddie Ljungberg as well, he was also... He's leaving. Do you think that's got any significance with Arsene Wenger as well, or? And also, who do you think should do? You know, there's been suggestions maybe Dennis Bergkamp could come in.
Yeah, and I heard about Warburton as well, the former Rangers manager,
to train the kids.
It's kind of. I personally think that we need clearing out from top to bottom. The whole entire setup needs a complete and utter refresh and shake-up. It needs a new man with his own ideas, with his own people. If you say, for argument's sake, Allegri, he will come in with a completely different setup. That would include...
So would you get rid of Steve Bold then?
Yep.
Yeah.
All of it. Allegri wouldn't come in and
a couple of weeks ago, you singing, here, Bold is
here we go. Listen, we was all having a bit of banter over that.
You were singing Bold is Yellow Army, now you want him out?
Yeah, because it was all a bit of banter. And we already said that, Robbie. Don't try and push your agenda
Bold
on
is
this.
Yellow Army.
But you think, right, Allegri will come in. He will have his own assistant. He will have his own physio. He will have his own strength and conditioning coaches. He will have his own, everything will be his. He will come in there and he will want what he wants around him is people he can trust. Not who they say, oh yeah, you can have him or whatever. That's what I think this club needs. A complete and utter shake-up. Total freshness. The whole thing with, Freddie and, I forgot his name now, and they said Kroenke.
Jonker.
Is that I heard that he was very outspoken, Jonker, and he's had a few clashes with a few people there.
Yeah, that's true.
And his contract was about to expire this year as well.
Was he doing a great job though? That's the other thing.
Well, that's the thing. Our academy's not great. What's he really
produced recently?
Our
academy's not been that great, has it?
Our academy's not great. And what you've got to remember
he was brought in to really kickstart that, and we haven't really seen nothing from it.
I suppose you haven't seen it because it hasn't had a long time to implement his ideas. It needs proper structure and it needs years of rebuilding, basically. And what you've got to remember is people talk about academies and stuff and they seem to think like you're going to get 6, 7, 8 players come through an academy. You're never going to get the class of 92 Man United ever again. When you had the Nevilles and the Beckham and Butt and Scholes, that was unprecedented to have that many young youth team players come in and make such an impact on a first team. You're never going to see that again, I don't think. 1 or 2, break the mould. That's the basis for it now. 1 or 2. Iwobi's one of them, but is he the answer? Not really at the moment. And it's you look at some of the youth products and some of the ones we've seen. Jeff Rennie Adelaide's got the potential, but again, when does he get given the chance? Apart from the odd cup matches, then you've got.
It's guys like Akpom and all that are loan.
Yeah, and it's loan every season after season. There's the other lad that played Maitland-Niles.
Maitland-Niles, yeah.
So he's one. And you do only ever get to kind of see them in the one game. And I think that's one of Arsenal's problems as well. It's kind of, he doesn't, it's weird saying, I don't want anyone to get this the wrong way, but he does and he doesn't give youth a chance, if this makes sense. Now, with Iwobi, it was because of injuries that he got into the team.
Yeah, but then he's given him a chance.
No. Then he scored 2 goals in 2 games. If he didn't score those 2 goals, I think that once the player who was, I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, but you could say that for everybody, though.
But I don't think that he would have. I don't think he would have been given the consistent chance that he would have done. And then because you look at...
that's football, isn't it?
You look at Rennie Adelaide and stuff like that. You look at players like that and you look at some other clubs And I think that the problem with Iwobi, should I say, the problem I think Wenger's done with him is that he's put too much trust in him too soon. Like, he should still be a substitute that's getting 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Yes, the odd game. If you're playing a home game against Sunderland, for example, or something, yes, a fine time, like stick Iwobi in there, you know. But you're putting so much trust in this young boy in the Allianz Arena in Munich, ahead of Lucas Perez, ahead of Danny Welbeck. Nah, that's where I think he's doing it wrong. Hate to say it, but you look at down the road, for instance, Pochettino. I mean, the young player that comes to mind with him is Harry Winks. Got all the promise in the world. Just like Iwobi, got all the promise in the world. Looks good when I've seen him. But Pochettino is not going, I'm throwing you in. 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Integrating him slowly. Then in the odd match when they play a cup game or their Europa League game, no more anyway, you know, you can get a start in that one. Just doing it slowly. But I feel that Iwobi's just been thrust in there. And it's too much too soon. And when you're trusting that boy to play in the position that he plays in against Bayern Munich, who have Douglas Costa and Ian Robben running at you, nah, something's not right there. And it isn't like he had no choice. This is the thing, Robbie. It isn't like there was no choice. When he played him last year in the game against Everton,
he was unbelievable.
I know,
but Iwobi and Welbeck, they were unbelievable in that game.
He had no choice because the injuries were that bad at that
But
time.
that's what
I'm saying. I know that. But what I'm saying is,
that's how Fabregas got his chance.
Yes, I know that.
Got his chance.
That's absolutely fine. But what I'm saying is, what I'm measuring that against is Bayern Munich. He didn't have to play Iwobi.
Yeah, he shouldn't have played him.
That's what I'm saying.
I would have started with
There was
Welbeck all day
plenty more options to be playing. You know, and even in the FA Cup game against Sutton, Iwobi started. So it's like, hold on.
He likes Iwobi.
There you go. This is the problem. Wenger seems to have a few players that he likes. So
Aaron Ramsey.
These are players that have got nudes of Arsene Wenger. Yeah. I reckon what's happened is that there were nudes. Listen, I reckon there was nudes of Arsene Wenger from back in the day, right? Initially, Jules Gramondi had them, right? Yeah, and then he passed them down to someone like Senderos, right? And then they get passed down, and now they're
Sanogo had them for a little bit.
Sanogo had them for a bit. Ramsey's got them. Now Iwobi's got his hands on them. Who's next? You know,
I'll put in a disclaimer on all this, yeah.
But it's, you know, and
there no nudes.
How do you know? How do you know? You tell me. Can you categorically tell me right now there are no nudes of Arsene Wenger? Exactly.
If they are, I don't want to see them either.
You can't. Oi, listen. If there are some, I want them. Not because I want to see them, because then he might leave. Because I'll put them out there on social media unless you go. Sorry, Arsene, it's time to go. These nudes are coming out, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you mentioned Sanogo, and I'll make a point here, right? In the last year and a half, I think it's something like that. I said a statistic yesterday. He's earned over £1 million out of Arsenal.
Well, but I don't want to say nothing on this Sanogo thing until I know, because we were told that he's got some sort of mystery illness.
But he's back in the squad now.
Right, but we don't know what that, until we're told what it is. If I knew what the reasons, it's hard to say anything, isn't it? Because you don't want to say something and say, well,
this illness was only a couple of months ago. A few months, well, say towards the start of the season. What about a year before?
Yeah,
it was crap then.
Yeah.
It wasn't an illness then. You know, let's hope this illness has made him better.
Then he was injured even. He's been... Right throughout his career, it's been an injury-prone player.
It's players like him. It's players like him where you've got to sit there and go, you know, we're haggling over this extra piece of money for Alexis and whatnot. And in the last year or so, you paid £1 million to this guy. Are you mad? And you wonder why, as fans, we're getting frustrated. Because this is another thing. What did Chips Keswick come out the other day and say? Did you see his quotes? And he said that we're not going to be one of these clubs that's held to ransom. You knew he was thinly veiling that towards the Ozil and Alexis thing.
Well, I've heard that from a long time ago.
But hold on.
That basically, with both players, Arsenal feel that they've made them exceptional offers, and that they're almost like saying to both of them, in particular Alexis Sanchez,
take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
But
they're playing hardball with him.
Yeah, what I don't get.
Backfire.
That could backfire. Because what I don't get is we were told, you're leaving Highbury, you move into this shiny concrete bowl, right? So we can compete with Bayern Munich, we can buy players like Alexis, and we can pay them the big wages, and we can be one of the biggest clubs in world football. Now, we've moved to that stadium, we've bought the likes of Alexis, but now you're talking about you won't pay the wages to keep the man. So what we do, we're in a cycle. I
think the fear is, with the Arsenal board, is that if they bump those wages to like 200 grand a week, right? So they bump it 200 grand a week for Alexis and for Ozil. If, let's say, Theo Walcott or Oxlade-Chamberlain or Giroud or any of them have a...
Well, Giroud's just signed a new contract.
Yeah, but if they have fantastic seasons, they're going to come and say, well, hold on. Or not even their agents, which all good agents would do this, will come and say, well, hold on, we want parity or we want near to what they're getting. Alexis is on 200 grand a week. Theo scored 20 goals. We want 180. You know what I mean? And I think that is their fear why they're trying to play hardball. But it's a dangerous game because we could end up losing.
You know what it is? Welcome to being a big club. You wanted it. You wanted to move from Highbury to be the biggest. Expect these kind of problems. Don't whinge about it as soon as it happens. You're the ones who wanted to move. Yeah, not us. You know, a lot of fans didn't want to leave Highbury because we were more successful there under the Wenger era. We were more successful at Highbury. So a lot of fans are going, why did we ever move? Just for extra revenue.
To compete with Bayern Munich, don't you know?
Yeah, but we're not. You know, I remember when we played at Highbury, and during that time, we played Bayern Munich in the knockout competition then. And yeah, we were knocked out against an amazing Bayern Munich side. But it was 3-2. There weren't no 5-1s. We lost 3-1 over in the old Olympic Stadium. And then we won 1-0 at Highbury. You remember the run we went on
They've moved to their new stadium. Now they're putting 5 past us.
You know what I mean?
We moved to our new stadium. We got 1 goal.
Exactly. And this is what I'm saying, Robbie. It's just kind of, if you take away, well before Wenger, if you just sum up Wenger's reign in 20 years, he was more successful at Highbury than he was at Emirates. And a lot of people are asking the question now, was the only reason why we moved was to put more bums on seats, to put more money in Kroenke's pocket?
Let's wrap this up. Right? I'm going to ask you some quick questions, yeah? Who plays in the middle instead of Santi Cazorla?
Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Wenger in or out?
Don't ask me stupid questions.
What would be a good finish for Arsenal this season?
Just when the season has finished, I can't wait.
So how are you feeling right now?
Robbie, man, I've been...
What's a good finish? Now, between now and the end of the season, what for you would be the best that we could salvage?
Winning the league.
Out of winning the league. But we've got no chance of winning the league. So be realistic with what you're
I'm being realistic. That's what I want. That's the best. I don't want second. Don't want
FA
third.
Cup win?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, let's do another parade. Wow.
You wouldn't be happy with the FA Cup win?
No, I've told you, I've got no problem with the FA Cup. It's a prestigious competition. It's the best cup competition in the world. But for a club the size of Arsenal, we shouldn't just be settling for that. And that seems to be all we have settled for.
New contracts for Ozil. Should we give him a new high 200 grand a week contract? Or sell him?
See, this is the thing. I think Ozil's a world-class player, but he's not putting in world-class performances.
So would you sell him? Or give him 200 grand a week?
I wouldn't give him 200 grand a week. Not the
so
way
would you
playing.
sell him then?
I wouldn't sell him.
You've got a choice there. Sell him. You don't want to, or give him 200 grand a week. He says, he said to you, I'm going if I don't get 200 grand a week. Do you sell him? Hold on.
Yeah, no, I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer it, but I just feel that a lot of it lies down to a new manager. I think under a different manager, with a different approach, with the right players around him, you would see that Mesut Ozil.
So you're not a manager right now. You're a board member, right? Who's going to make that decision? Do you sell him or do you give him 200 grand a week?
I would keep him and sack the manager and put the right one in place.
So you keep.
You like that, didn't you?
Dodge the question.
Gary Neville taught me a lot.
What, right? Alexis, same question.
All day, keep him, pay him what he wants. Simple as that. We've had this argument, we moved to get players like this. If we sell him, we've gone complete circle. It's the whole Fabregas, Van Persie, even Nasri, Adebayor. It's that cycle. You can have a great player, have a couple of years, and then they piss off to somewhere else.
So you could buy one player in the summer.
Wow.
To improve this team where we can go and win the league. Who would it be?
I think we need more than one.
No, but you only get one.
Why do I only get one?
Yeah, I'm asking the questions. I'm saying you get one.
Can I have three?
No, one player.
Can I have three?
No, one.
Give me three.
One player that can make a big difference.
Because I don't believe one will make a big difference.
At Man United, you look at Ibrahimovic, that one player has made a mega difference.
Yeah, no, but they're still
Manchester
sixth.
United. They're still sick, but they've just won. They've just won a cup.
If you're right,
they're looking good to get in the top four at least.
They're still I'm just going to sit there and talk to this now. Listen, what I'm trying to say.
That's true. Right,
what I want for Arsenal is to be challenging properly in the Premiership. Right?
I know all that, but you've got one player. You only got one.
No, and for us to be doing that, I feel we need more than one. So give me three.
No, but I'm only giving you one.
No, give me three, because one's not enough.
This guy's greedy, man.
Yeah, I'm not greedy.
This is Arsenal. You're lucky you're only getting one.
Listen, we've been buying a few players lately.
One world-class player.
Wait there. I never said
give me a players. Give me a three players.
I'm not going to give you specific names. I'm going to give you the position. Right.
No, you've got to give me specific players.
Goalkeeper.
A goalkeeper. Okay.
We need a goalkeeper.
We've got two good goalkeepers.
No, I think Petr Cech's.
So which goalkeeper would you get?
This might upset a few people. I know I'd love to take, but you're never going to get him.
Who, Lloris?
Yeah.
But you're never going to get him.
No,
so be realistic. Who would you get? That's better than what we got.
Boy, I don't know. I'll have to look at the market in the summer and see what's available.
You're good. All right, what's your next position?
Left back.
Who would you get?
I like Rodriguez.
Ricardo Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Not exactly doing that great this season.
Neither were. Who's he playing for?
Playing for Wolfsburg. But he's part of the team. He's
wait there. Who's just gone to Wolfsburg?
Huh?
Who's just gone to Wolfsburg?
Jonker. What's that got to do with anything? They've been playing crap.
It's tactical. Why they've been playing crap and the manager's gone?
No, but listen,
watch him start performing now. Listen, I like Rodriguez.
A lot of people calling up Rodriguez. He's not having a good season. Wolfsburg have been poor.
Yeah.
Has he been any better than Monreal this season? Has he been any better than Gibbs? How do you know that?
Because I watch German football. Don't watch me.
What was the last Wolfsburg game you watched? Who did they play?
I can't remember. Don't watch that.
Right. And your last position. Think when you played FIFA last, who was a good player? Because that's probably how you're coming up with these.
Listen, bruv. I would annihilate you on FIFA. Yeah?
Come on,
I've
give
seen
me a player.
You got them dodgy thumbs, man.
Don't worry about me on FIFA, man. Give me your last player.
This is where I feel we need the world-class striker. As well as Alexis is doing, I still feel there needs to be someone there, like a Griezmann. Why can we not go and get a Griezmann? Got the money. We've got the pull. Why can we not be in the running just because, a Man United might be interested or a Chelsea might be interested? We already lost out to Kante because Arsene fricked it when he heard that Chelsea were in for him. And he cost less than Granit Xhaka. So it's...
On that note, I think it's time to end before I get even more depressed when I hear that. I mean, it's unbelievable, that, isn't it?
It just won the league with Leicester. He was gettable. Knew the Premiership. It's just... Why can we not? It goes right back round, Robbie, to why we left Highbury to compete. So if Chelsea are in for a player, we're in for a player, why can we not match that? Why can we not do it? Our owner, our actual main owner, Kroenke, has got ridiculous amounts of money. Yeah? Our second largest shareholder has more money than Abramovich. Them two combined could blow Man City and Chelsea out of the water.
They don't want to work together, do they?
No, they don't. But lastly, the one thing I will say is that in regards to this protest, I'll be doing my own protests.
Yeah, what's that?
You'll see.
The protests don't work. And if you
Listen, if I want to get my voice across,
if you check things out in life, yeah, right. Unity is what's required if you're going to have a successful movement that is going to work. Doing stuff on your own.
The last brand that used unity as part of their slogan was Fruit of the Loom, and no one wears that anymore. So didn't work for them, did it? I remember it. But listen, look.
Well,
I said, I want to get my voice across.
Keep our eyes out and see what you're going to come up with.
I just want to get right. Any fan can have an opinion. Yeah, there's people that go into the Emirates with Arsenal we trust. Yeah, we don't go up to them. We don't fight them. We don't try and beat them up. We don't do anything whatsoever. That's your opinion. Fine, cool. Come and have a talk with me, and you can explain to me why you want Arsenal to stay. That's fine. But at the same time, respect why we want him out, and let us hold banners up. Let us get our message across, and let us do what we want to do. We pay our money.
Hope there's one day that comes sooner.
I do.
We no longer see any banners.
I do.
The only banner I want to see is we won the title banner.
You know, like champion section.
Champion section, Old Trafford, Anfield. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Nice one for the podcast. Don't forget, available on SoundCloud, iTunes. You can watch it on YouTube, Facebook. You watch it anywhere, man. We're all over it. Yeah. We've been sponsored by Uber for this, right? So check out the Uber code and the details if you want to get a free trip, right? So check that all out. And yes, that's been another podcast with me and DT. We're going to be a bit more regular on it. We did have a bit of a manic couple of weeks, right? So we will be regular with these podcasts. But thanks for watching.